So, there are 77 brawlers in Brawl Stars now that Angelo has been released, but this video features the absolute worst brawlers to play in Brawl Stars right now. So let's hope you don't push these brawlers to have rage issues. But anyways, without further ado, let's begin. So let's kickstart this video with the 5th worst brawler, and that is going to be Carl. Carl has been continuously falling off the meta, update after update. And yes, it is a surprise that he is even on this list, but let me explain why. With his super, right, it is very easily countered by knockback and stun, as if Carl supers and that certain thing happens, he basically loses his entire super. Especially since Primo and Buzz and Cordelius have now gotten hypercharges, that just adds onto the list of brawlers who can easily counter him. His projectile speed is quite slow too, and is only fast if it hits a random object, because it comes back to him instantly. And that fast projectile speed can't really help him in those sticky situations, because it requires Carl to hit a brawler that is in line with an object close by, so he can't really rely on objects that much. Hence, this is why Carl sucks right now. Alrighty, so now let's move on to the 4th worst brawler, and that is going to be Poco. While his attack can hit multiple targets, the individual damage per hit is lower compared to other brawlers. And also, due to his average health and movement speed, he can easily be taken down by brawlers who specialize in close range combat, such as El Primo. Even if El Primo uses his hypercharge, he can just bring Poco right to him and kill him easily. In terms of being a healer, he is also so outclassed as a healer to brawlers such as Doug, because Doug now has a fixed heal rate and is pretty much broken in lots of scenarios. Hence, this is why Poco is bad right now. Now, moving on to the 3rd worst brawler, and that is Bonnie. Bonnie has quite literally fallen off for a few reasons. Her slow movement speed in sharpshooter form will allow other sharpshooters or throwers to pick her down easily. Despite her high health, as her slow movement speed will make it hard to peek behind walls or move behind cover to heal up. This will make it harder for her to get her super, but in the right hands, her super will be able to be cycled easily and it'll be insane. Secondly, her 1 ammo slot. This will make her burst damage very low, causing her to be prone to assassins, but unable to fight back. In melee form, her low health will cause her to be easily picked down by any brawlers that survive her attacks. Additionally, her short range will make it very hard for her to fight back, as she has to go up close to the enemy and will have a huge problem to fight off enemy brawlers with longer range than her. So, this is why Bonnie is one of the worst brawlers right now. Let's now jump into the 2nd worst brawler, and that is going to be Byron. Like Poco, he is so outclassed by other healers such as Doug, and is kind of a weak brawler in general as well. With his main attack, he can either attack brawlers or heal them, and it is very hard to attack with him as well, because majority of the time your allies will be in the way of your shot, causing Byron not to be able to deal that much extra damage to help your allies out, but instead heal them. So yeah, basically Byron has decent damage output, but his burst damage isn't enough, just like his health, and that is what causes him to be so poor as a brawler. He can get countered pretty easily by brawlers such as Piper and Nani, since they can both two-shot Byron, and since he can't deal enough damage to them. Even with his gadget booster shots, his attack splits into 3 main attacks, and they each deal less damage and healing. This is a weak gadget, as it can only deal so much damage and not be able to do pretty much anything, as you'd have to be very close to a brawler to hit all 3 of the shots. Therefore, most likely you're gonna only hit 1 or 2 of them. So this is why Byron sucks right now. Alrighty, last but not least, let's finally move on to the absolute worst brawler in the game, and that is going to be Gus. Ever since they removed the knockback in his kooky popper gadget, he has significantly fallen off as a brawler. Gus's healing ability is also very gimmicky, as it is not a passive ability and requires him to expend ammo. He actually has to land shots on enemies for it to work as well. since it takes 4 shots and it is only applicable from hitting enemies. A healer shouldn't really possess those weaknesses because it makes it situational, makes it difficult to use, and makes it inconvenient. The thing is, the ghost can be used for healing or it can be used to deal damage to enemies if enemies are within the ghost's radius, if Gus of course has the Cookie Popper gadget on. But also keep in mind that allies rarely get an opportunity to even heal themselves from Gus's ghosts, because not only do they take long to get, but allies would have to actually try and work their way into which they can actually use the ghosts if the ghosts are near them in a certain situation, and most of the time that isn't really possible. Therefore, this is why Gus is the absolute worst brawler in Brawl Stars. Alrighty, so I hope you all enjoyed today's video. Be sure to let me know who you think one of the worst 5 brawlers was and why they didn't make it on the list. I will let you know in the comments. Also, be sure to subscribe and like, and if you want to, share my videos as well. Also, I am doing a Thief Edgar giveaway on my YouTube channel in my community post, so be sure to join that because it ends on March 15th, so you don't want to miss out on that. Anyways, have a good rest of your day and peace out.